Hi everyone, Peter Young here. Now, I've just watched the Google I/O 2018 keynote, and I wanted to go through a few of the things that I found really exciting from the presentation. Now, the first thing they talked about was the Google AI and the development that they're doing with that. The new system, or one of the new systems they're looking at, is a machine learning technology they're calling Looking to Listen. And this is for closed captioning or subtitles for videos. And it looks for, what it does is help separate out subtitles when there are two people speaking in a video, perhaps over the top of each other. What it does is it looks for audio cues as well as visual cues and helps distinguish between the two voices talking over each other. So, for example, in YouTube, the subtitles will appear underneath each person talking. And what it will do is show the subtitles for the person speaking first, and then it'll mute or try and mute the other person that's talking. Then it'll rewind and play the subtitles for the second person that's talking, which I thought looked quite interesting. So there's a new feature for Gmail. It's called Smart Compose, and this uses machine learning to suggest phrases. So when you're composing a new message, new suggested phrases will pop up on screen. You press tab on the keyboard and it'll add those phrases to the message. So it should save you from typing a lot, assuming that the machine learning can accurately predict what you want to type in the message. That's apparently going to be rolling out to users later this month. In Google Photos, there's a new feature called Suggested Actions, and that will use AI to suggest smart actions. So it will do things like pick out an individual person in a group of photos that you've taken in one day, and perhaps suggest that you share the photos of that person with them. It'll also, which I thought was really cool, is recognize a document that you've taken in a photo and then convert that to a PDF, which looks really cool. And then the other thing was converting black and white photos into color. So if you take a picture of an old black and white photo, it'll use the AI to work out what those colors should have been and convert them into a color photo. Now, I'd like to give that a try because it does look really good. And apparently all those features are going to be coming to Google Photos in the next few months. There are also going to be some changes to Google Assistant. It's going to use a system called WaveNet to model underlying audio to create a more natural voice. And apparently they're introducing 6 new voices, and another new voice from John Legend is coming later this year. They're going to make the assistant more naturally conversational and visually assistive, and it's going to be available in 30 languages across 80 countries. They're also introducing continued conversation, which will be coming in the next few weeks. You'll be able to ask for multiple actions in one sentence, and it'll understand polite conversation as well. So this could be great with kids. If they talk politely to the Google Assistant, it'll respond with positive reinforcement. This is a feature called Pretty Please and will be available to families later this year. New smart displays are going to be making an appearance from July. These will be controlled by voice. They'll have things like YouTube TV, which will show new shows as well as local news and all the usual YouTube content. You'll also be able to check out the morning commute, video call, and you'll be able to check out the weather, of course. On the phone, the assistant is going to take full advantage of the whole screen. You'll be able to swipe up in the assistant to get a proactive view of the whole day. This new experience is apparently going to arrive later this summer. Also this summer, they've got integration with Google Maps in the Google Assistant, so you'll be able to ask Maps to share your ETA with contacts, which is something I do manually at the moment. I'll look at Maps, I'll send a WhatsApp to my wife and let her know what time I'm going to be home. So that'll be a good feature for me. And you'll also be able to start playing music from within apps as well. Something else they're working on is Google Duplex. The assistant will soon be able to make a call on your behalf to a business like a salon or a restaurant and place a booking for you. So this would be particularly useful where businesses don't have a website booking system available. I actually listened to some of the conversation that the Google Assistant had with the person on the other phone, and the voice sounds pretty convincing. They've made it so that it can understand the nuances of speech and respond when the conversation doesn't go as expected. It can understand the context of the conversation and handle the conversation gracefully and respond correctly. And it sounded pretty good from the examples they gave. They haven't said when that's going to be rolling out, but it's something that they're working on at the moment. I expect it's probably going to be another year or so before we see this roll out to handsets. Coming this week, YouTube will be rolling out a daily digest of notifications. So instead of notifications popping up all day, you'll be able to opt into a service that will just show at one time of the day, it'll show all your YouTube notifications. This is obviously to help you manage your day better. They say it's to help you manage your day better, to help you avoid getting a notification every so often that interrupts your daily flow. It interrupts a meeting or interrupts perhaps your time with your family or that sort of thing. So the new version of Android is coming out later this year, and it's going to be known as what's currently known as Android P, and they say it's going to focus on intelligence, simplicity, and digital well-being. So some of the intelligence that it's working on are adaptive battery, which will give a more consistent battery experience. It uses on-device machine learning to work out which apps you're going to be using in the next few hours and which apps you might be using later in the day or perhaps not even at all. They say Android will then only use battery life on apps that you care about. Auto brightness. Adaptive brightness will use machine learning to adapt the brightness based on the preferences in your environment. So you'll be able to set the brightness to a particular point that is appropriate to you, and then adaptive brightness will work from there, moving the slider up and down depending on the environment that you're in. There'll be a new navigation system in Android P. There'll be a single home button that you can swipe up for recent apps and then swipe up again to access the full app tray. It'll present you with your most frequent, or not the most frequently used apps, but the apps that it thinks that you're going to need at that particular time. You'll be able to slide the button sideways to scrub through all your open apps. When you're scrolling through apps, the app content will be glanceable, as they call it, so you'll clearly see what's happening within the app, and you'll be able to refer back to info from that application as well. Smart text selection will now give you the option to open another app, so if you perhaps selected the name of an artist in a web search, then it'll open Spotify to play music from that artist. New volume controls allow you to adjust the media volume by default, so you'll no longer have situations where you're turning the volume down, it turns the ringer down, you play a video, and then the volume blasts out at full, which can be quite embarrassing. One great feature is that the rotation, or a new button will appear in the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen. So when you turn your phone, an auto rotate button will appear at the bottom. You can select that and it will rotate the screen for you, so you've no longer got to scroll through the settings tray to turn on auto rotation at that point. There'll be a new dashboard to show phone usage, so to help you manage your time, especially with friends and family. YouTube will also show the total time spent on apps across desktop and mobile. And you can set time limits on apps. An app will be grayed out if you exceed the time limit that you've set. And this is all to help remind you of your goals that you set with apps, so that you can manage your time away from your phone better. Spend more time with family and friends, that kind of thing. Do Not Disturb will be improved to limit notifications and visual interruptions. Turning your phone over on the table to enter Do Not Disturb, which is quite a useful feature. Starred contacts will still always be able to get through. And a new feature called Wind Down Mode sets the screen to grayscale. This will apparently stop the phone from being as stimulating when you're trying to go to bed. So what they're trying to avoid is you going to bed, checking your phone before you go to bed, and all the bright notifications showing up and dragging you into another hour of using your phone, that kind of thing. You can check out Android P Beta by going to android.com/beta, and apparently you don't need a Pixel phone to test this out. It'll work on several manufacturers' devices, so it's worth checking out to see whether your device is compatible if you want to give it a try. With Maps, you'll soon be able to use the camera to help you navigate using Google Maps. VPS, or Visual Positioning System, will help use visual landmarks to estimate the precise position. So using visual features of the environment, by holding up your phone's camera, it'll pinpoint exactly where you are in the street or in your current location. Coming in the next few weeks with Google Lens, Smart Text Selection now recognizes text so that you can copy and paste text seen through the camera into your phone. Style Match, a new feature. Lens can recognize items that allow you to search the web for similar items, for example, clothing or some ornaments or a lamp that a friend may have or something like that. Those were the examples that they gave. And real-time results will also appear in cameras, or in the future they're hoping real-time results will appear in camera. So if you're holding your camera up and you've got Lens enabled, you can look around and real-time suggestions will pop up, like pointed to a poster of a musician, and a YouTube video for their latest music video will show up, that kind of thing. So that's the summary of what I found interesting in Google I/O. Leave a comment below letting me know what you found interesting and what you're most excited to see later this year. It'd be great to hear from you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.